The massive alien warship hung in orbit above Earth like a dark storm cloud. Captain James Walker stood at the command center of Earth Defense Station Alpha, his weathered face illuminated by the soft blue glow of holographic displays. 20 years of military service hadn't prepared him for this moment, humanity's first contact with an alien civilization. The transmission came without warning. The alien ship, nearly the size of Manhattan, had appeared at the edge of the solar system just 3 days ago. Now it broadcasted a message in perfect English across every communication channel on Earth. Humans of Earth, you have been judged and found wanting. Your species represents chaos in an ordered galaxy. You wage senseless wars, destroy your own planet, and now dare to reach for the stars. We are the Guardians, tasked with maintaining order. You have 24 hours to surrender. Those who resist will be eliminated. Those who submit will serve. Walker's hands clenched into fists as he watched the message repeat across the screens. Around him, the command center erupted in a mix of fear and anger. But Walker felt an old, familiar calm settle over him, the same calm he'd felt in every battle he'd ever fought. "Sir," Lieutenant Rogers called out, her voice steady despite the circumstances. "We're detecting energy buildups in the alien vessel. They're charging weapons." Walker nodded, his mind already racing through scenarios. The alien ship's technology was far beyond anything humanity possessed. Their weapons could probably crack the planet like an egg. But if there was one thing humans had learned through countless wars and struggles, it was how to face impossible odds. He opened a secure channel to all Earth military commands. "This is Captain Walker. I don't know about you, but I didn't spend my entire career defending Earth to surrender it to the first bullies who show up. They think we're chaos. Let's show them what humanity's chaos can really do." The response was immediate. Military bases worldwide began mobilizing. Underground bunkers activated. Secret weapons projects were greenlit. But most importantly, humanity did what it had always done best when faced with extinction: it unified. Walker turned to his crew, seeing the same determination in their eyes that he felt in his heart. "They called us chaos," he said, a grim smile forming on his face. "They have no idea what they've just unleashed. Send word to all commands, Operation Thunderstorm is a go." As Earth's military forces began their preparations, Walker couldn't help but think that these Guardians had made a crucial mistake. They'd judged humanity by their chaos, their wars, their destructive nature. But they'd failed to understand one vital truth: those same traits had forged humanity into survivors, fighters, and most importantly, a species that absolutely refused to go quietly into the night. The alien ship loomed above, its weapons charging. But below, humanity was awakening. And soon, these self-proclaimed guardians would learn why it was a terrible mistake to back humanity into a corner. Thunder rumbled in the distance. The storm was coming. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a facility that officially didn't exist, Dr. Tom Miller watched as his life's work came to fruition. Project Phoenix had been humanity's best-kept secret for the past decade, a weapon system so advanced it bordered on the impossible. "Status report," he called out to his team, his eyes fixed on the massive quantum core pulsing with ethereal blue light. "All systems nominal," replied Dr. Anna Reed, her fingers dancing across holographic controls. "The quantum entanglement field is stable at 99.8%. Whatever those aliens up there are using, they won't see this coming." The Project Phoenix facility had been built for exactly this scenario, a superior alien force threatening Earth. While the world saw humanity's regular military preparations above ground, the real surprise waited in these underground chambers. Back at Defense Station Alpha, Captain Walker received the encrypted message he'd been waiting for. "Phoenix is ready," he read aloud, allowing himself a small smile. "Begin Phase 2. The alien ship had spent the last 6 hours systematically destroying military bases across the globe, demonstrating their overwhelming technological superiority. But they hadn't killed anyone yet, just precise strikes against empty facilities, after giving time for evacuation. They were playing with their food, showing humans how helpless they were. "Sir," Lieutenant Rogers reported, "the Guardians are broadcasting again." The alien commander's voice filled the command center, dripping with condescension. "Your pathetic attempts at resistance amuse us. We have destroyed merely 2% of your military capability, yet you persist in defiance. Perhaps a more convincing demonstration is required." Walker pressed a button, opening a channel to the alien vessel. "This is Captain Walker of Earth Defense. Before you continue your demonstration, we have a demonstration of our own." In the Phoenix facility, Dr. Miller gave the final command. The quantum core's pulsing quickened, and the impossible happened. Across the globe, in precisely calculated locations, rifts in spacetime began to open. The alien ship's sensors suddenly went crazy. Where there had been one Earth, their instruments now detected hundreds, thousands, all occupying the same space but slightly out of phase with each other. And from each parallel Earth came humanity's response, a coordinated attack from countless realities. "Impossible," the alien commander's voice cracked with genuine fear for the first time. "You've weaponized quantum parallel reality manipulation? Your species shouldn't have this technology for another 1,000 years." Walker's reply was cold. "You called us chaos. Did you think we achieved that title by being predictable? Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons, it's our ability to do the impossible when our backs are against the wall." The quantum rifts widened. From each parallel Earth, humanity's hidden weapons emerged. Each reality had developed different technologies, different strategies, different impossible solutions. And now, they all converged on a single target. Dr. Miller watched the sensor readings with pride. Multiple universe strategic convergence achieved. All parallel Earths are in sync. Time to show these Guardians why you don't corner a species that turned their own chaotic nature into a weapon. The attack was about to begin, and the Guardians were about to learn that humanity's most terrifying weapon wasn't their technology, it was their unpredictability. The very chaos the aliens despised had become their doom. The sky above Earth erupted into a kaleidoscope of light as thousands of parallel realities converged. The Guardian ship, massive as it was, suddenly seemed small against the combined might of countless human civilizations, each having developed along a different technological path. From one reality came ships of pure energy, piloted by humans who had mastered consciousness transfer. From another, massive biological vessels grown from modified Earth organisms. A third reality contributed quantum phase warriors who could shift between dimensions at will. Each Earth had faced its own challenges, developed its own solutions, and now they all united against a common threat. In the Phoenix facility, Dr. Miller's hands flew across the control panels. Reality sync holding steady at 98%. Temporal feedback minimal. We can maintain this convergence for approximately 40 minutes before the universal constants begin to destabilize. That's all the time we'll need, Walker's voice crackled through the comm system. He watched from Defense Station Alpha as the Guardian ship attempted to process the impossible scene unfolding around it. Their sensors must be going haywire trying to track thousands of different technology types simultaneously. The alien commander's voice betrayed their growing panic. "This defies all known laws of physics. Your species was supposed to be primitive, barely able to achieve space flight. What are you?" Walker's response was calm but carried an edge of steel. "We are humanity. We are chaos incarnate. And you're about to learn why that's not a weakness." The attack began. From one reality, electromagnetic pulses designed to disable alien shield systems. From another, temporal missiles that aged their target's hull by centuries in seconds. Biological weapons from Earth 277 merged with quantum disruptors from Earth 894. Each attack alone might have been defeatable, but the sheer variety, the unpredictability, the chaos of it all overwhelmed the Guardian ship's defenses. Their shields are adapting, Dr. Reed reported, monitoring the quantum feeds. But they can only adapt to one attack pattern at a time. They can't handle the variety. The Guardian ship's response was devastating but predictable. Their weapons were incredibly advanced, capable of vaporizing cities in seconds. But they had developed their technology along a single path, refined and perfected over millennia. They had no concept of how to handle attacks coming from completely different technological paradigms simultaneously. Back on the Guardian vessel, the alien commander faced a tactical nightmare. Their sensors showed human weapons that shouldn't exist for thousands of years, some operating on principles their scientists had deemed impossible. Every time they adapted to one form of attack, 3 more completely different ones took its place. How? The commander demanded. How did you prepare for this? How did you know? Walker's laugh was grim. We didn't. That's the point you don't understand. Humanity doesn't just adapt, we overdevelop, we overprepare, we imagine every possible scenario no matter how unlikely. Every human writer, artist, and dreamer has imagined this moment in 1,000 different ways. And thanks to Project Phoenix, we now have access to every solution we ever dreamed up. The Guardian ship's shields began to fail under the assault. Not all at once, but in patches, each section overwhelmed by a different impossible weapon from a different parallel Earth. Their mighty vessel, designed to subdue primitive worlds, found itself faced with the combined technological might of every path humanity might have taken. Dr. Miller watched the sensor readings with satisfaction. Phase 3 is complete. Their ship systems are compromised on multiple dimensional levels. But sir. He hesitated, we're detecting massive energy readings from their core. I think they're going to try something desperate. Walker nodded grimly. The Guardians were about to learn another fundamental truth about humanity. Backing them into a corner didn't just make them dangerous. It made them lethal. Phase 4 was about to begin, and with it would come humanity's full, terrible response to those who threatened their existence. The massive energy readings from the Guardian ship's core reached critical levels. Suddenly, a blinding flash of light erupted from their vessel, and a shockwave of pure temporal energy spread outward in all directions. The wave passed through Earth's conventional defenses as if they weren't there. Multiple reality signatures destabilizing. Dr. Miller shouted, his instrument screaming warnings. They're using some kind of temporal nullification field. They're trying to collapse our parallel reality convergence. The quantum rifts connecting the thousands of parallel Earths began to fluctuate. One by one, the connections to alternate realities started failing, their advanced weapons and ships fading from existence. The Guardians had drawn upon their most powerful weapon, one designed to enforce a single timeline, a single reality. Reality collapse at 20% and rising, Dr. Reed reported, her fingers flying across controls. We're losing connections to the parallel Earths. At this rate, we'll be isolated in our own timeline in less than 5 minutes. But Captain Walker didn't show any sign of concern. Instead, he smiled. Initiate Phase 4, he ordered. Let's show them why forcing humanity into a single timeline is the last mistake they'll ever make. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Miller input the final command sequence into Project Phoenix. Sir, you should know, once we do this, there's no going back. The energy required will burn out the quantum core. We get one shot. Do it, Walker commanded. Dr. Miller pressed the activation key. Instead of fighting the Guardian's temporal nullification field, the quantum core of Project Phoenix synchronized with it. The collapse of parallel realities accelerated dramatically, but something else was happening, something the Guardians hadn't expected. As each parallel reality collapsed, it didn't simply disappear. The knowledge, the technology, the advancements of each timeline were being compressed, downloaded, integrated into this single reality. Humanity wasn't losing its parallel advantages, it was consolidating them. By all known laws of physics, this should be impossible, Dr. Reed whispered, watching as the quantum core processed unimaginable amounts of data. We're not just preserving the knowledge, we're actually successfully integrating incompatible technologies. The Guardian ship's commander noticed too late what was happening. Their transmission came through filled with genuine fear. Stop. You'll destabilize your entire civilization. No species can handle that level of technological integration without millions of years of development. Walker's response was cold. You still don't understand. Chaos isn't our weakness, it's our greatest strength. We don't need millions of years. We just need the right motivation. All across Earth, military bases and research facilities began receiving the compressed data. Weapons systems upgraded themselves with technology from 1,000 timelines. Defense shields incorporated principles from countless parallel developments. Even as the last quantum rifts closed, Earth's military forces were transforming, evolving, becoming something that should have taken eons to achieve. Final reality convergence complete, Dr. Miller announced. Quantum core is burnt out, but data integration was successful. Sir, we now have access to every military advancement from every parallel Earth we connected with, all compressed into our current timeline. The Guardian ship hung in space, its temporal nullification field having succeeded in closing all the rifts to parallel realities. But instead of facing a weakened Earth stripped of its parallel reinforcements, they now faced something far worse, a humanity that had just compressed millions of years of potential military advancement into a single moment. Walker opened a channel to all Earth forces. The Guardians wanted to force us into a single timeline? Fine. Now they face every possible version of humanity's wrath at once. All forces, prepare for Phase 5. Let's show them exactly what humanity can do with a little motivation and a few million years of compressed technological advancement. The final battle was about to begin. Earth's military forces underwent a transformation that defied comprehension. Regular fighter jets morphed into quantum-shifting attack craft. Standard missiles became temporal phase weapons capable of striking across multiple time states simultaneously. Even basic rifles in soldiers' hands reformed themselves into weapons that could punch holes through space-time. Integration complete, Dr. Miller announced, his voice filled with awe. Every Earth defense platform has successfully merged technologies from over 10,000 parallel timelines. We're seeing advancement rates that should have taken millions of years happening in minutes. In orbit, the Guardian ship sensors detected the change. Their initial scans of Earth's military capability had shown a Level 3 civilization, barely capable of lunar travel. Now those same sensors registered something approaching a Level 12 civilization, an advancement that should have been impossible. You don't understand what you've done, the Guardian commander transmitted, their voice mixing fear with anger. This level of advancement without proper evolutionary development will destroy you. Your minds cannot handle this power. Walker watched as the new readings came in from across the globe. The commander was right about one thing: human minds were being pushed to their limits trying to comprehend the flood of advanced knowledge. But the Guardians had made one crucial miscalculation. Dr. Reed, Walker called out, initiate the neural network upload. Dr. Reed's fingers danced across her console. Uploading now. The compressed data from parallel Earth 591 is merging with our global defense AI. Timeline variants from Earth 824 and Earth 1047 are providing the stability matrices. What the Guardians didn't know was that humanity had prepared for this too. Among the parallel Earths had been versions where humans had developed advanced AI systems, neural interfaces, and consciousness expansion technology. As the compressed military technology spread across the globe, these systems activated, helping human minds process and control their newfound power. The Guardian ship launched another attack, this time using their most devastating weapon, a beam that could literally erase matter from existence. But Earth's defenses had evolved beyond such simple concepts of destruction. The beam struck an invisible barrier around Earth, not a shield in the conventional sense, but a complex quantum field that redirected the attack into a parallel probability state where it had never been fired. The Guardian's ultimate weapon had been negated by technology that treated reality itself as a malleable concept. Multiple Guardian ships detected entering the solar system, Lieutenant Rogers reported. They're responding to some kind of distress signal. 17 vessels, all larger than the first. Walker nodded, unsurprised. Good. Let them come. Humanity spent thousands of years divided, fighting among ourselves, developing countless ways to wage war. Now we have access to all of them at once, refined by millions of years of potential development. Dr. Miller, show them what humanity's chaos can really do. Earth's transformed military forces moved with perfect coordination. Ground-based weapons platforms fired shots that curved through dimensional space. Fighter squadrons shifted between quantum states, becoming impossible to target. And humanity's crowning achievement, Project Phoenix's final gift, began to take effect. The very laws of physics around Earth began to shift, changing to favor human technology while negating the Guardian's advantages. In their rush to force humanity into a single timeline, the Guardians had given them the opportunity to rewrite the rules of engagement themselves. Sir, Dr. Miller called out, the hostile fleet will be in range in 3 minutes. But there's something else, we're detecting quantum signatures far beyond our solar system. Something massive is happening out there. Walker's expression hardened. The Guardians had called humanity chaos incarnate, and now they would face the full implications of that title. Phase 5 was complete, but what was coming next would show the galaxy why species should think very, very carefully before threatening Earth. The quantum signatures Dr. Miller had detected beyond the solar system weren't just readings, they were awakening echoes across the galaxy. Every world that humans had ever dreamed of colonizing, every star system they had imagined reaching, began resonating with the same energy signature as Earth. Sir, Dr. Reed's voice shook as she read the incoming data, the compressed knowledge from the parallel Earths, it's not just affecting us. The quantum integration is spreading through old colony ships we launched decades ago. Probes we sent to other stars. Even the radio waves we've been broadcasting for centuries. Walker understood immediately. Every piece of human technology in space, every signal they'd ever sent, was being transformed by the same process that had evolved Earth's defenses. Humanity's reach had been far greater than even they had realized. The Guardian reinforcement fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel, weapons charged. But they emerged into a solar system that was no longer just defended by Earth. The compressed knowledge had transformed every piece of human-made technology in space, turning simple satellites into quantum defense platforms, old space junk into tactical assets. Impossible. The transmission came from the lead Guardian vessel. The contamination is spreading. Their chaos, it's infecting everything they've ever touched. Dr. Miller's instruments were going crazy. The quantum transformation is accelerating exponentially. Every radio wave we've ever broadcast is becoming a carrier for our compressed technological knowledge. The galaxy has been saturated with human transmissions for over a century. Walker allowed himself a grim smile as he realized what this meant. For all their power, the Guardians made one fundamental mistake. They assumed chaos was a weakness to be controlled. They never considered it might be the most powerful force in the universe. The Guardian fleet opened fire, their weapons turning space itself into a storm of destruction. But Earth's defenses had evolved beyond the need for simple shields. Space around the planet rippled like water, the laws of physics themselves bending to protect humanity's homeworld. "Sir," Lieutenant Rogers called out, "we're receiving transmissions from other civilizations. Younger races the Guardians have been protecting. Our transformed signals reached their worlds. They're asking for help." The truth became clear. The Guardians hadn't just been Earth's self-appointed wardens, they had been containing species across the galaxy, preventing them from developing along their own paths. And now, humanity's chaos was offering them a choice. Dar. Miller's voice was filled with wonder as he reported, "The quantum transformation is spreading through every communication network in the galaxy that's ever received a human transmission. Radio waves, digital signals, even ancient analog broadcasts. We didn't just advance ourselves, we're offering advancement to every race that wants to break free from the Guardians' control." The Guardian fleet's formation broke as they realized the full magnitude of what was happening. Their perfectly ordered galaxy was being transformed by the very chaos they had sought to eliminate. And they were powerless to stop it. Walker opened a channel to the Guardian fleet. "You called us chaos. You tried to force us to conform to your order. But chaos isn't a flaw, it's the force that drives evolution, innovation, and freedom. We're not just defending ourselves anymore. We're offering every species in the galaxy the chance to choose their own path." The quantum signatures continued to spread, reaching further into the galaxy with each passing second. Humanity's gift of chaos, of freedom, of infinite possibility, was spreading at the speed of every transmission they had ever sent into space. Dr. Reed's console lit up with new alerts. "Sir, we're detecting quantum signatures from thousands of worlds. They're all transforming. The galaxy is awakening." The Guardians hadn't just awakened humanity's wrath, they had unleashed it across the entire galaxy. The Guardian fleet's formation had completely broken down. Their perfect order, maintained for millennia, was crumbling in the face of humanity's unleashed potential. But they weren't defeated yet. In a desperate move, the entire fleet began channeling energy into their temporal nullification fields, attempting to reset the galaxy itself to a previous state. "They're trying to turn back time," Dr. Miller announced, watching the reading spike. "They're going to attempt to undo everything we've accomplished." But Walker had been waiting for this moment. "All forces, execute final protocol," he commanded. "Dr. Reed, activate the quantum resonance cascade." Dr. Reed's hands flew across her console. "Quantum resonance cascade initiating." "Sir, if we do this, there's no going back. The galaxy will never be the same." "Good," Walker replied. "It was never meant to stay the same." The quantum resonance cascade began. Every transformed human signal, every piece of evolved technology, every awakened world began resonating at the same frequency. The Guardians' temporal attack met not just Earth's defenses, but the combined will of thousands of civilizations choosing chaos over imposed order. Space itself seemed to shudder. The Guardian fleet's attempt to turn back time met the forward momentum of evolution itself. Their ships, designed to enforce universal constants, found themselves trapped between what was and what could be. Guardian vessels showing critical energy readings, Lieutenant Rogers reported. "Their temporal fields are collapsing." The lead Guardian ship managed one final transmission, "You don't understand. Without our order, the galaxy will fall into chaos." "No," Walker responded, his voice firm. "You never understood. Chaos isn't the absence of order, it's the freedom to find your own path. Every species deserves that right." The quantum resonance reached its peak. In that moment, the galaxy made its choice. The Guardian fleet's temporal attack backfired spectacularly. Their ships, caught in their own temporal field while trying to resist the quantum resonance, began to fade from existence, not destroyed, but transformed. Dr. Miller watched in amazement as his reading stabilized. The Guardian fleet, they're not gone. They've been transformed. Their technology, their knowledge, it's been absorbed into the quantum network. They became part of the very chaos they fought against. Across the galaxy, thousands of civilizations found themselves truly free for the first time. Earth's gift of chaos had given them not just advanced technology, but the freedom to choose their own destiny. The rigid order of the Guardians had been replaced by infinite possibility. "Sir," Dr. Reed called out, "we're receiving messages from across the galaxy. Other races, they're thanking us. Some want to learn from us. Others want to share their own knowledge. It's beautiful." Walker stood at his command station, watching as the galaxy transformed before his eyes. Humanity had done more than defend itself, it had sparked a revolution of freedom and creativity across the stars. The very chaos that the Guardians had feared had become the galaxy's greatest strength. "Send a message to all Earth forces," Walker commanded. "And broadcast it to every civilization that can hear us. The age of the Guardians is over. The age of freedom has begun. Every species is now free to choose their own path, develop their own technology, and find their own way among the stars. We don't offer control or order, we offer possibility." Dr. Miller's console showed one final set of readings before powering down. The quantum core, burned out but not dead, had recorded the final moments of their victory. In its data, he saw not just the end of the Guardians, but the beginning of something far greater, a galaxy where chaos and order could coexist, where every civilization could choose its own destiny. The transmission that had threatened humanity had indeed unleashed their most terrifying wrath. But in doing so, it had also unleashed their greatest gift to the galaxy, the power of choice, the strength of diversity, and the infinite potential of chaos itself. The story of humanity's stand against the Guardians would be told across the galaxy for generations to come. Not as a tale of destruction, but as the moment when the galaxy awakened to its true potential, thanks to a species that refused to bow to anyone's order but their own.